Jello and welcome dear ranchers. I hope many of you are doing well. I originally wanted to make this video as a Five Nights at Freddy's sort of a reaction video like I did with Slenderman, but after much thinking I decided that you know what, I just want to talk a little bit about arcade games when I was growing up. And also, I am kind of terrified of this game, I am not going to lie. But mainly, I just want to change it up a little bit. That's my reasoning. If you find this video very misleading, I do apologize. I mostly want to experiment to see if you guys like this sort of commentary story time video. Not only do I hope that I entertain you guys, but also hope that it improves on my speaking ability. I still have a tendency to slurp or mumble my words a little bit. Now with that out of the way, let's discuss the first story. I'm not too sure if it's even a story. Anyway, I understand a lot of people grew up with Chuck E. Cheese. It's a very popular family restaurant, or I would say arcade restaurant. Well, the thing is, I really never grew up with Chuck E. Cheese. I've been there about twice in my life. Most of it, me and my family went to Peter Piper Pizza. It's la pizza para todos. Pizza for everyone. It's similar to Chuck E. Cheese. The only difference is that their mascot is a purple-green dinosaur, similar to Barney. If you guys haven't heard of it, I completely understand. I think Peter Piper Pizza was more popular in the west side of the United States, while Chuck E. Cheese was more everywhere pretty much. Yeah, the best way to describe Peter Piper Pizza was the bootleg version of Chuck E. Cheese. If memory serves me right, Chuck E. Cheese was really popular in Mexico. Yeah, guys, my relatives would have parties there a lot. And I think the one thing I do remember from Peter Piper Pizza is that there was a certain arcade game called House of the Dead. It was those shooter up games. I never tried it because I was horrified of that sort of arcade game. Even as an adult, that kind of scares me. In a way, looking back at it, I think it did scar me of playing horror games just because of the context behind it. I was very squeamish growing up as a kid. I never really been a big fan of horror movies or gore in general. Now, as an adult, I am still squeamish, but I still have some form of enjoyment watching that sort of content. Again, depending on the movie, the game that has, violence or other inappropriate stuff. But that's one thing I do remember from Peter Piper Pizza. Don't ask me about how's it like, what was the difference between that place and Chuck E. Cheese. I can't give you that sort of context at all. I have a memory of a freaking potato. But I know I went there a lot. If you ask me if that Peter Piper Pizza had any marionettes, had any animatronics, I think they did. I can't recall one. I just can't. I'm so sorry. But I know that I am pretty terrified of those things. Those robotic, unnatural animatronics. It's worse that Five Nights at Freddy's has this sort of setting that takes place of an arcade possessed by animatronics that are possessed and wants to kill the security guard. I do not envy him. Unfortunately, Peter Piper Pizza is not as popular, nor is it accessible anymore due to the whole pandemic that's happening. Through my research, I learned that Not only did Chuck E. Cheese buy the franchise, but also went bankrupt due to the whole pandemic, which sucks because 2014 Peter Piper Pizza had this whole revamp of its brand. Years later, like now it's going down under. Like it sucks, but what can you really do? Nowadays, there's a lot more modern arcade restaurants, like Boomers, Dave and Buster's. Actually, that's it. That's all I can think of at the top of my head that I actually went to. There was another arcade, but it's not as popular. It's much more of a cafe slash restaurant slash arcade. It was a really nice place. Yeah, the pizza was really, really good. Oh my gosh, I couldn't stop eating because I ate so much that I couldn't even walk. It was that good. I'll show you a photo of me riding on a unicorn or a horse. I forgot, but it was really fun. I was with my best friend in that place, enjoying ourselves. It was such a blast. As for Boomers and Dave and Buster's, I'm not too sure how popular they are. And I know they're popular in the western side of the United States. I used to live in California, so I just don't really know. Boomers is similar to Peter Piper Pizza or Chuck E. Cheese, but more broader. It focuses on mostly the teenagers or young adults, like myself. They're more well known for their mini golf. The last time I think I went mini golfing was my best friend. I always wanted a double date, so she surprised me with bringing her boyfriend and bringing mine when my boyfriend came to visit. It was such a blast. I wish we had more time to play together. More mini golfing, more arcades. Let's see, they had bumble carts, go-karts. It was such a blast. I loved it so much. And I think about Boomers. Okay, this is gonna be a crazy story. I don't expect you guys to believe it, but basically, a cousin or my uncle. I don't know. My family's weird. Okay, he's around his 20s. Considered our uncle, I believe. He's our my grandmother's sister's grandson. I think that's considered a cousin, not an uncle. Anywho, he had this remarkable memorization skills. There's a game, an arcade game called Deal or No Deal. It's based on a TV show that turned into a arcade game where you could win tickets. Yeah, you get tickets back in the day. Well, when you start the game, you choose any of the many cases. As soon as you choose the cases, the game scrambles with other cases. So later on in the game, you could try to remember where the case was to receive more tickets. Well, he had this remarkable ability of whenever he gets the case and it scrambles with other cases, he somehow could identify where the case he picked was, and every time at the end of the arcade game, he immediately chooses and wins the bonus level. He was so good at it that he was literally covered with tickets head to toe. If I could find the photo, I'll show it on the screen. It was remarkable. I wonder how he's doing. I know they're in Texas. I could ask him about that. It's been such a long time. Moving on to Dave and Buster's. It's much more of an adult arcade. It's for children, of course, but it's a mixture of adults and kids to enjoy. The last time I went there was with my best friend's birthday. The remarkable part about it is that the place no longer has tokens. Instead, they use digital currency as similar to credit cards, and those credit cards collects points every time you win a arcade game. Something like that I wasn't very used to at all. As a kid growing up, I was used to holding tokens around you and depositing it into the arcade to get tickets, those physical paper tickets. Over time, those tickets, to save I guess cost and the trees, of course, they Instead of having one point per ticket, actually it became 2 points per ticket to save the cost and the trees. Nowadays they changed that to digital currency, which was really bizarre. Honestly, I do prefer the digital currency nowadays for Boomers, Dave & Buster's, or any arcade restaurant, I would say. Yeah, it's a restaurant at this point that does digital currency, because when it comes to tokens, kids hold that stuff everywhere. You don't know where those coins been, okay? For all we know, those coins could have been in the house, in the toilet, on the floor. It was a very dangerous, hazardous, practically. Like, you don't know those germs, bacteria growing inside those coins. For the employees might have never cleaned those coins. Seriously, okay? It's the same with freaking tickets. They just hope they never misplace their tickets. So, Dave & Buster's, I tried my first time playing those digital cards, and yeah, it was a lot more easier than putting a coin in and just play. Of course, you have your occasional breakups with arcade machines not really functioning, but most of the time it works. My favorite arcade game was the air frisbee, those machines that goes back and forth, or was it air hockey? It was air hockey. I'll show you a photo on the screen of what I'm talking about. Oh boy, I was so aggressive with that game. So much that my hands were freaking hurt. I remember playing the game with my friend's boyfriend. And boy, we were super competitive. He beat me. It sucks, but like, you know what? I gotta be a sports and just applaud him for such a good game. Like, oh boy, we were at it. Another thing I like Dave & Buster's is their prize pool. They had such a wide category of cool things. When I submit my, I won't say tickets, my digital currency, I suppose, or my points. I forgot what's the actual currency. I had enough to buy a little plushie, which is a little narwhal. It was really cute. I believe it was about 400 tickets. Let's go with tickets for now. Digital tickets. Those are really cute. They had other things like, the usual, PS4, Xbox, a VR headset. But I was more interested in the more smaller stuff, like cups, plushies, even the candy. I was a little intrigued, but the walrus, oh my gosh, I don't know my animals apparently. My little narwhal was the one thing that piqued my interest the most. And that's pretty much it. I know that's really, really boring. I didn't have anything spectacular or disastrous that happened with this story. Most of it has been really positive. Nothing bad. The thing is, I rarely go out. I was kind of secluded throughout my life. When I go out, like, oh boy, do I just go out. I just love going to these arcades because nostalgia. It's really fun with friends, really. Well, as long as you have the money to pay with all the rides, it's a really fun time. When this whole pandemic is over and I go visit my family, I wouldn't mind going to Boomers again. Try the mini golf or rock climbing. They have actual rock climbing. Oh boy, it's hard. But my best friend managed to complete it, which is awesome. Anywho, I hope you guys like this little story. Sorry it was kind of misleading. I just hope you guys enjoy it. If you have your own stories about arcades or, going to Chuck E. Cheese, let me know down below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Like always, stay delicious.